Welcome back, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you're having good luck with your gardening and all of your projects. And without further ado, let's get to today's project. So some of you guys might live a similar lifestyle as I, and I live off-grid out in the middle of nowhere. And you'll notice that mice and pack rats absolutely love to get into the engine bay and ruin everything. They like to chew up the wires. They like to pull out the insulation and make little nests. And today I'm going to show you what I did to sort of mitigate that or prevent that. So let's show you the big pickup, Big Blue over here. We have these things called Rid-A-Rat. It's a bright, randomly strobing light that attaches directly to your car's battery. Very easy to install. Don't need to be an electrician or an expert in any way. You see, just positive to positive to positive, negative to negative, and you're good to go. And then you just take your excess wire and zip tie it somewhere so it doesn't get caught in a fan or belt. And since this is such a big truck, we had to put two in because she's got two batteries as well. So we have another one over here. Now what I found when we went and picked up the water tank, it did a little inspection of everything before we got on the road because we had to drive really far and I didn't want to break down. I found where you see the electrical tape there was a rat's nest in here, and they had started chewing up the wiring. Now, fortunately, I got them before they did any permanent major damage, and we were able to repair the damage that they did in here. So these were the solution, the Rid-A-Rat. Now, these are made here in Arizona. They're made in Cave Creek, Arizona. Here's a little bit of information. And I bought this at Ace Hardware. I don't know if you can get them at Ace where you live, but here's their information if you want to order them online. There are flies landing on the back of my neck, and that's why I'm wiggling around. They usually do that when I'm trying to videotape. Try to land on my eyeball. So they recommend you clean out debris because as you can see there, they mark their territory so they can find their way back. Now we have them on all the vehicles now. We had some major insulation removed here, and there was a big huge rat's nest here, pack rats. And so now we have a Rid-A-Rat in here as well. Got hooked up there, got the excess wire attached to the battery strap. And I also installed one in the girlfriend's car. Nope, she's not out here with me. She's on vacation, having fun because she works really hard and she deserves it. So she's got one in her car too because she's got a much nicer, newer car than I have. My cars are, I don't know, 10 to 20 years old. One of them's 10 years old and the other one's 20. Hers is much nicer and newer, and we would hate for anything to happen to hers. Now hers was a little bit more interesting, I guess you could say, because this is a newer car and a lot of this is plastic and magnesium. I think this is probably plastic or magnesium, maybe. It doesn't really bend, so maybe that's magnesium. Lightweight, but the only part that I found that was steel was down here. Looks like on one of the maybe a vacuum line or something. Not quite sure. Maybe that's a radiator coolant line. But there's this steel cap right there for something to do with the sensor, and that thing connects right there. So we were able to put that on there, no problem. That was just something quick and easy I wanted to share with you guys. Yeah, let's introduce you to our special guest. Well, hello, say hi to everybody. This is Abby. This is my fur baby for the week. She's also going to be my shop dog and my assistant. She's going to keep me company while I work on some projects, and she'll be featured in maybe a couple more videos as I progress through my projects. She's going to come out here and chase lizards. Abby, come here. Come here. I got a lead for her so she doesn't run away. She's got to come over here. Come here, baby. She's a good girl. She usually listens pretty good. All right. Oh, yeah. Before I got sidetracked with the cute dog, Abby, we have a broken vise. Now, I may have showed this in another video. I broke this while I was making copper bus bars for the batteries because it was cheaper to make my own, just buy a copper tube. What are you doing? Looking for lizards? She loves chasing lizards. Here's our new one. This is a much beefier one. It is much more stout, so hopefully it'll last me a while. I had the other one for about 6 years, I think, and it did its job. So this one's got a nice little flat anvil sort of pounding station on here. That will be nice. Looks like this is breaking. This is our crimper. See the bottom of it is coming out. This should be easy to fix with a couple of whacks on this flat surface. The other one had an indent. It was concaved after years and years of pounding things on it with a hammer. Now let's go check the batteries. So I've been gone for a couple days. Got back this afternoon. We got a fan here because my weed destroyer leaked fuel all over the ground. May or may not show you what that was or what that means. So after a couple days of charging, we're at 53.4 volts. And one of you guys had mentioned that it would be a good idea for me to learn how to measure the kilowatt hours because I'm still learning about this sort of thing. So these guys, you can see that thing has produced 249 kilowatt hours. This one has produced 129 kilowatt hours. And this one has produced 5 kilowatt hours, I believe. So that's 5,662 watt hours. So these puppies are charging up. The next thing I need to do is build compression boxes for these. I got a couple ideas from watching, I think it was Ray Builds Cool Stuff. I think it was his channel. He went to the dollar store and got a bunch of thin cutting boards and used those as spacers to put in between these. Because if you cut through this, the outside of these batteries is charged with is positively charged. So we don't want those touching and shorting out. So before we build the boxes for these, we're gonna go to the dollar store and buy a whole bunch of those cutting boards, and we'll cut out the shapes that we need to place them in between these so we can have nice spacers. And then we can compress these together because as they charge and discharge, they expand and contract. And what will happen is over time, these will loosen up or even possibly break. So we don't want that to happen. So maybe tomorrow or the next day, we'll go into town. As you can see the gap in between here. This should be pressed together tightly, but they're slightly bulging from charging and discharging. So we'll be building some boxes. We'll be using all thread. I had built one originally for the first battery pack that I ever built using some wood. I think we're gonna get some plywood and then a whole bunch of all thread rods. I had some in here, but I don't know where they went. They probably rolled underneath something. Or they wouldn't be long enough anyhow. We're also going to redo all this wiring. I want to do equal length wiring to all the batteries from the bus bars. Like if you look at this one, that's about 8 or 10 inches. And then if you look at the next one, that's about a foot. And then the next one is about 3 feet. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure the one from the longest battery, the longest power cable here, this one, the positive and the negative, and we're going to copy the lengths and do the same length for this battery pack and for this battery pack. We'll just over under coil the wires on here. And what I mean by over under is if you take a cable and you just coil it up regularly like this, just around and around and around, and you have electricity going through it, it could make a magnetic field and cause some interference. So what you do is you do a coil, and then you flip the other one over. If I could do it with one hand here. sort of like that. So it goes over and then under, over, under, and you just keep doing that, and that will prevent you from creating a magnetic field by accident and possibly damaging some of the computer equipment or the monitoring systems, or sorry, the management system. But that's it for today. I'll make that a short and sweet video. I just wanted to share some of the solutions we had come up with for having rats and mice getting into our engine bays and things. Like underneath the trailer, there's light strips underneath there too. But that's it for today. Say hi, Abby. Hi, Abby. All right, you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, pop those in down below. Give us a thumbs up, and as always, keep building and try to be good to each other. Some of us aren't here for very long. A little bit of kindness will go a long ways. Oh, and I'm not sponsored by Ace Hardware or Red Rat. No one contacted me and told me to talk about that or pay me. That's just something that I found that works for me. It may not work for you, but it works for me. So God bless you all, and peace. So many projects, so much time.